Hey there, boys and girls, squids and squidettes. Today we're talking about bikes that motorcyclists just love to hate. Is the hate justified? Only one way to find out. Let's go! The first bike on the list today is the HarleyDavidson Iron883. It gets the first spot on the list because it's literally hated on by everybody. It's hated on by sport bike riders and Harley dads alike. Heck, it's even hated on by Sportster 1200 riders. It's a bike designed for the truly masochistic motorcyclist. It makes the same amount of power as a Ninja 400 while also weighing 600 pounds and costing over $11,000 brand new. So you're going to pay $11,000 to be gapped by Grom riders, ridiculed by Jixer squids who call you Harley-Davidson, and old Harley pirates on baggers that ask you why you bought a girl's bike. The redeeming qualities are that they're kind of cool looking if you're into that sort of heritage vibe, and they sound good, again, if you're into that sort of thing. Otherwise, the Sportster 883 is kind of an L. It might make sense if you find a cheap used one that you want to build up, but buying a brand new Harley-Davidson Iron883 is probably one of the worst financial decisions you can make, except for maybe blowing your trust fund on that sweet Ethereum when it was at its highest price. Because when you inevitably get tired of it and want to sell, you'll see there are 100 others just like it for sale by dentists who bought them for their girlfriends before breaking up with her on her 25th birthday, much like Leonardo DiCaprio. While Harleys do retain retail value better than some bikes, a practically new Iron883 isn't worth nearly what you paid for it when there are so many others just like it available for sale. So I say the Iron883 warrants the hate, yes. Another motorcycle we all love to hate is the Suzuki DRZ. Why? Well, the people who ride them, of course. Is that mean? Okay, let me rephrase. A DRZ in good condition for a decent price is a good dual sport motorcycle. It's kinda tubby and it has a carburetor, but they're definitely well built, albeit old and outdated motorcycles. The problem is that most DRZ owners turn them into the most unspeakably clapped garbage bikes. Look at different listings for a DR650 and a DRZ 400. The DR650 will have a service history as thick as the Holy Bible. It will come with a couple cases of fresh oil and filters, tires in good shape, fresh battery. You know why? DR650s are owned by dads who will pursue any maintenance item with the same devotion as a scientist on the cusp for the cure of cancer, because doing maintenance in the garage means they don't have to be around their families. Okay, now look, some use DRZs. Generic eBay slip-on, anodized parts, stickers everywhere, visible oil leaks, because DRZs are owned by young men who were not hugged enough as children, and they perpetuate the cycle with their motorcycle. And somehow DRZ owners think that having a set of both supermoto wheels and dirt wheels automatically makes their 10-year-old bike worth as much as a new one. Similarly, if you're lucky enough to find a DRZ in good shape, the owner wants to sell it for nearly the price of a new one. Granted, the DRZ hasn't changed in 20 years, but that doesn't mean it's worth $7,000. The DRZ is alright, I guess, in theory, but in reality, the DRZ experience is not one I'd recommend. I don't think it deserves that much hate, some, but not that much. There are way better dual sport bikes out there. See the Yamaha WR250R. Come on, DRZ people, you know it's true. Okay, here we go. The Kawasaki Karens are about to blow up the comment section. The next hated bike is the Kawasaki Vulcan. So there is the Vulcan S, which is a Ninja 650 in a weird cruiser costume that doesn't really look like a cruiser. And then there's the Vulcan 900, which is an off-brand Harley-Davidson, making the same poor Harley-Davidson power. The Vulcan S gets clowned on for a lot of the same reasons a Ninja 650 does. It has the most plain Jane 180-degree parallel twin that sounds like a bathroom fan. It's not a sport bike, but it's also not really a cruiser in the typical style. It's bulbous and cartoony and kinda awkward looking. I'm just not really a fan of this bike. We rode it and it was fine. But somehow even worse is the Vulcan 900. Metro cruisers like this really rub me the wrong way. It's a clear cash grab to get some of the Harley market, but not really improving on anything. It's not like a Rebel 1100 that's actually a good, better bike than a Harley. It's just like a worse, cheaper version of a Harley-Davidson. For instance, the Vulcan 900 is a 903cc V-twin that makes less power than the 649cc parallel twin in the Vulcan S. And all the chrome and spoke wheels just scream like nerdy cheapskate. It's like a worse version of all the hokey parts of motorcycling, and also Vulcan riders freak out whenever you criticize their bikes, which is amazing but also kind of sad. But all things considered, do I think the Vulcan is a crime against humanity and worthy of the relentless torment that the riders face on a daily basis? Probably not, but you probably should just get a Rebel 1100. I'd like to take a second to shout out the sponsor of today's video. It's our community over at YammieNoob.co. We've got an awesome community from all different types of riders on our member-exclusive Discord server. It is a super fun and welcoming place to chat about bikes, get advice on your build, or just swap some hilarious motorcycle memes. Community members get access to a ton of exclusive content as well. I've got a weekly segment called a Yam Cam, a live stream where members can chat with me directly and get some advice or insight in a real-time setting. As a bonus, every membership automatically gets you entries to win one of our giveaway motorcycles that we do every month. Head over to YammieNoob.co to see which tier level is right for you and get entered yourself to win. Again, that's YammieNoob.co, that's .co. I am not sure I'm even going to be hurting anyone's feelings with this one. The next bike is the Honda CBR 500R. I don't know how many people still ride these or if I'm just beating a dead horse at this point, but I'm pretty sure I've depreciated the values on these wholesale. But the CBR 500R just doesn't make any sense. It barely makes more power than a Ninja 400. It costs $2,000 more and it weighs 423 pounds, which is about 80 pounds more than a Ninja 400. It's kind of just like a bike that no one needs. And Honda has everyone under their spell, pulling on our heartstrings like we're marionette puppets. And they think, oh, well, everyone loves us. We'll make best motorcycles. Let's just throw bikes that serve no purpose into our lineup and people will buy them anyway because we're Honda. Well, I'm not buying it. Same with 250cc motorcycles. 500cc bikes have been mostly phased out because it just doesn't really make that much sense. And yes, I hear you, it's A2 compliant and it makes good torque and blah blah blah. It's a boring bike and it's slow and fat. So does the CBR 500R deserve the hate? Yes. Yes, it does. Honda, you are better than this. Let's see a lightweight, fun, and peppy competitor in this category. And no, the CBR 300R doesn't count. Another bike that refuses to relent in the face of its infinite rider scorn is the Yamaha TW200, the T-Dub. Why do people hate it? Well, number one, it's ugly. It has Tonka truck tires. Number two, it is slow. And no, it's not that speed is the be-all end-all, but this is a very, very slow little motorcycle. And number three, it's outdated. It has a carburetor, drum brake, and it makes use of parts bin leftovers from 1980, including an off-brand Timex for a speedometer. Number four, it reminds riders of the time they failed their MSF practical skills test while riding a TW200. It's not the bike's fault you can't do a U-turn, my guy. So it begs the question, is the T-Dub worthy of the hate? Definitely not. It's a lovable little dummy that will outlast every Ducati or Aprilia and potentially even a majority of the life on Earth. Its dumb tractor tires will carry you to the peaks of mountains you are not in any particular hurry to get to. The TW200 is not particularly good at anything, and it's definitely not easy on the eyes, but it's a bike that's truly hard to hate if you have any ounce of humanity left in your soul. Certified, no hate for the T-Dub, a lovable little dumb bike. Number 6 on the list, yes, this is a numbered list, it is none other than the Gixxer 600. The Gixxer 600 is like the official spokesperson of reckless and irresponsible motorcycling. The absolute most cringe-worthy riders ride a Gixxer 600. They ride them, crash them, and do the dumbest and most horrific mods. As we've brought back It Came from Craigslist, I have drugged the bottom of the sewage river that is Facebook Marketplace, and it is littered with the remains of abused, molested, and unloved Gixxer 600s. It's like, it's all fun and games on the internet. We make fun of squids, we say, haha, they wear flip-flops, that's so silly. But then when the camera is not rolling, and you're lying awake in bed staring at the shadows on your ceiling, and a feeling of deep despair consumes your soul as you remember that Gixxer squids are real. Realer than anyone wants to believe, and they terrorize the streets. They haunt bike night with accounts of their 186-mile-per-hour highway pulls. They stretch their swing arms with zero regard for how their actions will affect other people, and they laugh while their cargo shorts billow in the wind as they wheelie past you on the freeway. The Gixxer 600 is the chariot of the squid demons used for the transport of the depths of hell to our earthly plane of existence. Or if they aren't ridden by the most cringe squid stereotypes, they're ridden by Instagram motorcyclist dweebs that make reels that say stuff like, my girl said it was either her or the bike, while recording themselves in a tinted visor pointing upward at the text. And then the camera switches to a video of a Gixxer 600 at a gas pump with the text that says, I guess I'm single now. So yeah, the Gixxer 600 is deserving of all the hate it receives, even though it's a really good track bike. The last bike on the list is the BMW S1000RR. This bike sees a lot of hate. They're kind of cold, sterile, and soulless, just like the BMW simps who ride them. I feel like anyone who owns a BMW motorcycle or car is in it for the hate. I feel like that's part of the experience. Like, they get off on being an edgelord contrarian. Whether you have a 15-year-old BMW drift car with a locally hated sticker in the window, a brand new 3 Series with the heated seat subscription, or an S1000RR, you enjoy the fact that nobody likes you. Because you ride a BMW, not being liked by others reminds you that you are, in fact, better than them. Why would you own a BMW if that weren't the case? After years of aspiration feigning over the S1000RR on the internet, stalking the subreddits, and waxing poetic about its merits, your dad finally showed you he was proud of you and got you a job at his company. Because what says father's love better than the commoditization of your labor? Anyway, now that you're flushed with the soulless corporate blood money you've been able to attain your long sought after motorcycle, you feel empty inside. You've got your bronze ring, you've got to the end of the race. Now what? What will give your life purpose now? What are you working towards? Championship? Personal growth? No, that won't do. I know. Get a 1250 GS. But really, does the S1000RR deserve the hate? Probably not. It's a world-class superbike after all, and it's pretty good to ride on track, but it's not my favorite, and they sure as hell can't win in World Superbike. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy the videos. We release 9 videos a week, so you're not going to want to miss out. If you want to support the channel directly, you can head over to YammieNoob.co and join up. See you later. Fact: the US has lost 6 to 8 nuclear weapons and has no idea where they are. These are called broken arrows. Goodbye. Well, look at you. You've made it to the end of another Yammie Noob video. You should consider yourself pretty lucky because I have curated this one right over here for you to continue watching. It's probably just as good as the one you just saw. Unless you hated the one you just saw. I don't know, maybe leave me a comment down below about how much you hated it as well too. Or just keep watching this one. Make sure you keep watching Yammie Noob. Don't forget to keep watching Yammie Noob. That's the most important thing. Keep watching Yammie Noob.